Hey guys, so I've had quite a couple of questions asking about, what prestige perks are worth upgrading or worth buying. So in this video, we're going to address that. But before we go into that, I'll also briefly give an overview of the perks and loadouts that I use for all the classes. And so first off, we have the Gunslinger class. Essentially, this is what I find to be the strongest Gunslinger build right now. So Gunslinger relies on getting consistent headshots. So some of the important perks will be the frontline supply, where getting headshots restores rounds to your magazine, so you don't have to reload as much. It's more ammo efficient. If you are able to get headshots, you will be able to keep firing. And yeah, so you don't have to reload as much, don't have to run to your ammo crate. You can kind of hold out at a single spot and keep wearing the zombies down. So this works well with the concentration perk, where you kill 5 zombies with headshots grants you 10 health, and also this headhunter reward, where killing 5 zombies consecutively with headshots gives you your equipment charge. So that's why headshots are important, because headshots gives you ammo back, allows you to proc 10 health to absorb hits, and also gives you your equipment back, which is grenades. So these are the 3 main perks of Gunslinger, which relies on headshots. And to kind of help you with getting consistent headshots and to deal with swarms more effectively, we're going to start with the tier 2 shotgun. And with the Eagle Scout perk, you'll have 3 penetration, and because it has multiple pellets as well, and each being able to get headshots and proc frontline supply will allow you to use the tier 2 shotgun, a lot longer before having to reload. So you can keep firing, you can wear down swarms very effectively with this tier 2 shotgun plus frontline supply combo. And yeah, with the tier 2 shotgun, you can easily use this to get to the end of the map without needing any other tier 3s. Of course, if you do find a tier 3 assault shotgun or a multi-barrel shotgun, they are definitely better. But otherwise, a tier 2 shotgun can be good enough. And but because the shotgun is more for close and mid-range, so we're gonna match it with the secondary PDW over here, which has further range and will allow us to snipe screamers if they spawn, in the distance. And for the PDW, the main unique perk you need will be the Ghost perk, which allows you to go masking for 5 seconds after you take a hit, and you get a headshot with it, and then you can get masked for a few seconds to allow you to reposition to get to safety. So that's kind of like a saving grace perk as Gunslinger class. And so we covered quite a few things now. So then we will move on to this perk over here called Sort It All Out. So basically, when you empty your primary weapon, your secondary weapon will get explosive ammo. So now you can set this up before, right at the start of the game. Just empty your combat shotgun and the PDW will get explosive ammo. So this will allow you to clear specials quickly, explosive ammo on your basically on your secondary. And we will match this perk with switcheroo. So basically, when you switch your weapon, you increase your firearm damage by 50% for 5 seconds. So the general gist is, use your combat shotgun for swarms, and then when you see a special, swap to your PDW that already have the explosive ammo set up. And when you do this swapping action, you also proc switcheroo. So essentially, you have the 50% firearm damage boost and the explosive ammo on your PDW to clear specials quickly. And this is very effective on Extreme and Extinction runs. So that's kind of how the setup in general works. And we are going for impact nades because they deal 100% more damage, so they are more effective against juggernauts and bulls. The main thing, even though we have secondary explosive, which is kind of like our main special dealer, main way to deal with specials, the issue with this is the explosive rounds have 0 penetration. So if there's a bunch of zombies that's kind of blocking the bulls or juggernauts, you won't be able to get the clean shot. So that's where your impact nades come into play. They kind of serve as a backup, in case either you run out of explosive ammo or there's too many zombies blocking your shots. You can throw 2 impact nades to kill a bull and juggernaut on extreme difficulty. On extinction, you will need to add a couple of shots in, but this can definitely help you when things get messy. And because of the smaller explosive radius, you can use it closer to you as well. But the issue with the explosive radius, because it's smaller, if you throw it into a gate that's not like stacked, if you throw it into a gate that's not stacked fully, you may not get a lot of kills. And because we are the last perk that I haven't talked about will be the free refuel perk. I find this pretty useful, especially in solo runs when you don't have access to ammo crates easily. Usually you can sustain your ammo for long enough with frontline supply, but you know, sometimes things get messy and you can find yourself running out of ammo. So with free refuel, you can still get some ammo back with your grenades. And to maximize this, you will want to throw your impact nades into a stacked pyramid, so that's where you can maximize the number of kills you get. You can also say, if you have a bunch of zombies aggroing onto you, you can also try to push them back and push them. Usually they will have like a domino effect, and they will kind of congregate at one spot, and that's where you can use your impact nades to get some more ammo back. So that's the gist of it for the Gunslinger class, and now we'll move on to the Prestige perks. So the first Prestige perk is reload speed increased by 10% on the primary weapon, and this is pretty useful, especially on your combat shotgun where you're reloading round by round. So on other weapons, for example on the AK, you can cancel the reload animation when the bar reaches 50%. You can do a melee to kind of cancel the rest of the reload. But on shotgun, because it's round by round reload, you can't really do that. So that's where the reload speed can be quite handy here. So this is actually quite useful, I'd say. For the next one, reload speed increased by on secondary weapons. This is less impactful because your PDW is usually automatically reloaded with explosive ammo when you empty your primary. So you won't find yourself reloading your secondary as much. So in terms of impact, I'd say that the reload speed on the primary one is definitely more useful. And then we'll move on to the Prestige 3 perk, where you get more ammo for your primary and secondary weapons. This is good to have. This also increases the amount of secondary explosive rounds that you get, because it's a percentage of your carried ammo. And this also kind of offsets the extinction difficulty ammo reduction. So yeah. And then for the next in line will be grenades killing 20% more targets. So I think that's about 3 more targets, which is not bad if you consider free refuel, 3% of your ammo for each kill. So that's almost that's close to, that's 9% more ammo that you get back with an impact nade kill, which is pretty handy or pretty useful, to be fair. So far I would say Prestige 1, 3 and 4 perks are more valuable in the first row. And then moving on, we'll look at the P6, 7, 8 and 9 perks. So P6, you'll have this My Bad 2 where you take 10% less friendly fire. To be honest, I don't think this is that useful. Yeah. I mean, of course, everything helps, but I wouldn't say that the 10% is going to make a big difference. And then this one where you can dupe a machine gun when you finish it. Well, 10% chance to dupe one when you finish using one. The main issue with this is I think you'll be able to clear swarms more effectively with the combat shotgun because of the extra weapon pan and the pellet spread. And usually I'll leave machine guns to, say, the classes with lower DPS, like the medic class, for example, so they can still kind of contribute to killing the swarms. So personally, for my playstyle, I don't find this very useful, because I tend not to be the one to finish a stationary machine gun. And especially in solo runs anyway, because you do need someone watching your back when you're using this. So in solo runs, with dead bots or without bots, it's not the best. It's rare for you to be able to finish using a machine gun. And then next in line, the recoil of weapons is reduced by 10%. This is okay, though Gunslinger already have reduced recoil to begin with. So yeah, I wouldn't say like this is very impactful, but like I said, good to have. But yeah, The last perk I kind of like. I feel it's quite useful. Switching weapons 25% faster. So if you see a special, which means you can switch to your PDW quicker, and then you can switch it back quicker as well to your shotgun to deal with the swarm. Another thing that's not stated is that if you use a heavy, so for example, if you have a heavy machine gun and you finished using it, there's an animation where the guy will put the heavy machine gun away, and that during that animation you cannot melee or cannot shoot, so there's a bit of a downtime. So this actually makes the downtime period shorter. So that's pretty useful. You know, you can melee or start shooting a little bit quicker. So this is more of a I do find this quite handy, but unfortunately it's at P9, so yeah, so it's not in a really good spot. So I would say if you do intend to prestige and you don't want to get to P9, I would say P4 is a good place to stop for Gunslinger. 6, 7, and 8 perks aren't that impactful. P9 is good, but yeah, it's at the end, so it's kind of up to you whether or not you have the time to grind it up to P9. So that's it for Gunslinger. We will now move on to Hellraiser, and the first build is the MGL Special Killer build. So with that, we need to have the 100% more explosive damage coupled with the 25% more special damage and the improved MGL with 50% more damage. So all this will allow us to one-shot boost on extreme difficulty, two-shot juggernauts on extreme difficulty as well, and I think two-shot both boost and jugs on extreme on extinction because they have a little bit more health. So these 3 perks allows you to kill specials quickly, and in terms of quality of life, we'll go with the impact grenades for our MGL, so you can land your shots easier, they don't bounce. And we also go with the free refill tree, so when you kill a special, there's a chance that you'll drop more MGLs. So I think this is about 10 to 15% usually. So because your build is situated around killing specials, you do have a good chance of spawning MGLs, and then you can kind of use the rest of your current MGL on swarms to help to control the swarms as well. So that's kind of how the build works. For the others, we will have the Here Kitty C4 to attract zombies. So this is a little bit of crowd control. You know, if someone gets pinned, you can use this to save them. If you find yourself getting surrounded, you can also use them as well. And we will have I'll Take That. Killing a special zombie, it restores 1 charge because we are, you know, mainly dealing with specials, so this is quite easy to proc. You can also use 15 kills if you prefer, so it's kind of up to your preference in this case. And in the last column, we are using the 15 kills for temp health, just for extra survivability, to allow, you know, to soak up some damage, to allow us, giving us extra health to soak up damage, basically. So that's kind of how the special killer MGL build works. And the next build, the alternative for Hellraiser, which I find to be pretty effective, is the shotgun fire thumper build. So essentially, the main difference is that we are starting with the grenade launcher with the incendiary ammo, in this case, and we are gonna start with the tier 2 shotgun as well, to give us so we'll have some increased damage output using our primary shotgun. And to make it easier for us, we'll have nimble thumbs to reload the shotgun quicker. So because we are using the fire thumper, the issue with this is the thumper eats up the ammo crates pretty quickly. So we do need a way for us to be more ammo efficient, especially if you're doing solo runs, so you don't have like you can have a bot ammo fixer which can help, but you know, if they go down, you do need a way to kind of self-sustain. So that's where we are using our free refill 1 perk, you know, where you restore 2% of primary ammo for each kill made with your equipment. So if you go back to the Here Kitty perk, you know, even as you can see here, it attracts zombies, but it kills 35% less targets. But don't worry, we have the deadly gas perk here called Alert Rate, which can kill about 50 zombies on extreme difficulty, but it does take a little bit of time. So usually I'll throw my C4 into pyramids and then explode it, and then the deadly gas will slowly kill zombies and refuel my tier 2 shotgun ammo. And this will then allow me to make use of the ammo crate that's available to refuel my grenade launcher. So this allows me to sustain a little bit longer, in terms of my ammo efficiency. And in terms of the C4 restoration perk, I'm going with pickpocket because I'm using my C4s more often on pyramids instead of specials. So that's where pickpocket works a little bit better. And yeah, so because of how the build works, we are not getting all the damage boosts, so we are not relying on our MGR as much. We are going to focus on the fire grenade launcher, and because the fire from the grenade launcher will push zombies back, so it's a pretty good tool for crowd control basically. And you can then focus on your tier 2 shotgun on the pyramids with the C4 gas. And if you look at a lot of my extinction guided runs with 0 damage, a lot of the difficult maps I've tend to use Hellraiser with this particular build, just because of how effective it is. Yeah, so you can have a look at those for like the general gameplay. And with that in mind, we'll now move on to the Prestige perks. So the first one is your throwing distance of C4 increased by 25%. This is useful because the C4 throwing range is pretty short, so this is really handy. Sleight of hand, switch weapons faster. Great perk for either setup. Your MGL build, you're switching to your MGL. For the grenade launcher build, you're switching to your thumper. So having this faster swapping speed is good. Director Plus explosives kills 10% more targets. So this is kind of a little bit better for the MGL setup. But yeah, I mean, even with the Fire Thumper build, you start off with MGR as a Hellraiser anyway, so 10% more kills is fine. It's good it's decent, so we'll take that as well. And then lastly, for the P4 perk is you have one more Thumper ammo. Carry ammo capacity, so this is great for your shotgun Fire Thumper build. Not so much for your MGL focus build, but yeah. So again, the first 4 Prestige perks are decent, and I would say worth having. Now we'll then go on to the next line. The first one will be Hole Punch 2, where your pistol and secondary weapon SMG range, which I believe is the PTW, increased by 50%. I honestly don't think this is useful at all. Even without this, say if you're playing the MGL build, your secondary pistol is able to snipe screamers from a distance anyway. I honestly don't think this range is gonna be very impactful. So yeah, and it's not gonna be useful at all if you're using the grenade, the thumper. Reload speed increase of secondary weapons increased by 15%. So this is useful if you're using the thumper build. Not so much for the MGL build because you're not going to be using your pistol a lot, and reloading them, you can do the animation cancel as well when it's 50%. So whereas for the thumper, this will be a little bit more effective for the thumper build here. And then going down the line, we have the Knock Knock 2, 10% chance of using Breaching Charge without spending it. I mean, this is fine, but it's a chance perk, so you don't always get it. And then the last one will be Explosives, killing 5% more targets. This is from 10% now you have 5% here. I mean, it's okay. Honestly, I would say just go for the first 4 again. I think the first 4 Prestige perks are a little bit more impactful. And if you like the shotgun Fire Thumper build, you can go up to P7. The additional reload speed can be quite handy. But yeah, in my case, I don't think the last 2 is worth my time on it, so I didn't bother prestiging it further. But yeah, again, I think the first 4 Prestige perks are the better options as well. Yeah, so that's it for Hellraiser. We'll now move on to the Medic class, and so these are the perks that I generally use. So when I'm playing with a squad, I've sugar-coated, so when you heal someone, they get a bit of temp health as well, because you're not only healing someone after they go down. So if someone is low on health, you can heal them, and the temp health can protect them for a little while. You can also go for healing 50% faster healing speed. I think both are decent options, but yeah, I just like the extra temp health from the med kits. Candy, one of the very strong perks, as strong new perks that's been added. If you steam someone or you revive someone manually, you get a steam back. So, but one thing to bear in mind, because previously where I tend to use pick me up, so when you revive someone, both of you get temp health. Now if you revive someone manually, they don't get temp health. So with this perk, I recommend steaming someone to revive them instead if you can, so they at least when they get up, they have a bit of temp health to absorb any hits, while they are repositioning, so that they don't die immediately. Because on Extreme Extinction, after one in cap, if you go down again, it's death. So do try to give them a bit of temp health if possible, so to extend their life a little bit longer. But yeah, I find this perk very useful. So just if you imagine if the whole team goes down and you will only have one stim left, because of this candy perk, you can still revive all of them with your stim. So yeah, this is a really, really good perk. Say if someone goes down, you can revive them manually, which gives you one stim back, and then you can heal them with sugar coated, which now gives them full health and also temp health. So yeah, so kind of how that works. And we're going with 4 steam charges because I find this more useful than having longer temp health. The main thing with the steams is this secret ingredient here, where masking gives you it gives you a masking of 5 seconds as well, on top of the temporary health. So if you think about it, in a group of 4, if you have any of the other perks, you only have 3 steams, and if shit hits the fans, you can only steam 3 guys. The last guy will be the one taking all the aggro. Whereas if you have 4 steam charges, all 3 of your teammates will have a steam, and then you can also give the last one to yourself if you think there's a need to. So everyone gets one, and then everyone gets safe for a little while, because of the masking perk. So yeah, I find this more useful. I find that the power of the steam comes from the masking effect. The temp health is also really good, of course, but I think the main thing is the masking effect, so so your teammates can reposition safely. But you do have to bear in mind that when someone goes masking, the aggro will be redirected to someone else, so you have to kind of keep a lookout for all your teammates as a medic class. But you can have a look at the detailed guide if you want to learn more about the medic class. I like wheatgrass because you can find weapons afterwards in general. People don't usually pick up SMGs because they are fairly weaker, on the weaker side. So even with the tier 1 SMG, I think on the medic class works fine because you have the lobotomy perk where you restore rounds with headshots made. So this kind of makes you like a semi or half gunslinger with the SMGs. So there's a bit of so this is actually pretty handy. You can still deal with zombies and even specials with your SMG quite effectively, because all the zombies, or all of them have weak spots in the head. So you don't have to kill. Even just headshot will give you the rounds back. So you can headshot infectors, bulls, juggernauts, and you'll be restoring rounds as you go along. Combat medic, so basically it gives so I think the way this chance perk works is, if you kill 30 zombies, you're more or less guaranteed a med kit. So yeah, I like to proc med kits when I can, and instead of leaving it to chance, say on efficiency. So so personally I prefer combat medic. You can also use, you don't need it all, but the problem is sometimes it drops adrenaline. It drops it on the feet of the special. So if say it's a screamer that is out of bounds, you won't be able to get it. You can also spawn adrenaline when you need a med kit. So yeah, I prefer combat medic a bit more. And then we are also using pickpocket for the stims. Just for hot maps with big swarms. You can go for I'll take that, but this will be more objective-based maps where you're traversing a lot. Say Moscow 4 in the middle with the different switches. There's not like big swarms, but there's lots of lurkers, so this will be a little bit better and more effective. So this I kind of depends on the maps that I'm playing. And then we also have in the zone, essentially if you steam someone, you get the firearm damage boost. So if you remember about the redirecting of aggro with masking, if you steam someone, you can let the zombie aggro come to you, and with the damage boost here that you get, 50% more, and lobotomy perk, you can actually handle all these aggro zombies pretty well, even specials to be honest, with your SMG and the lobotomy headshots. Yeah, so that's kind of how it works for this setup. In terms of the prestige perks, stim pistol 25% longer, this is good. Apply med kits 25% faster, great perk as well. Pistol range, stim pistol range 25%, and SMG range by 25%. So all these 4 perks are really good. I would recommend getting them if you can, the first 4 prestige perks. The next one, Steam Pistol will apply 10% of its effects onto you. This is not bad, say if you steam 3 different people, you get 30% of the temp health, which is decent. It can also absorb a bit of hits there. Steam Pistol range, additional 10%, why not? And then this one where you use a med kit, you restore 10% of its effect to a random ally. This is fine. I think previously it was bugged and giving 30%, now it's only 10%, but it still helps, as mentioned. And then the last one is revive speed increased by 10%. Usually using stims to revive, not so much manual revive, but this is useful if you are reviving NPCs. So again, overall I think Medic's prestige perks are all pretty good. If you have to choose, I would say the first 4 are the better options. If you have time, the last 4 are also pretty decent. So I would say Medic has some of the better prestige perks overall. Alright, now on to the Fixer class. So Fixer, we have the explosive ammo or the gas setup, so we'll go through the explosive ammo quickly first. So this is the healing ammo box, where you have the final column 3-in-1 perk, which allows you to heal the team by 10% in the first use of a bag. So this allows you to kind of slowly heal up the team. The issue with it is it kind of reduces your duping chances because it reduces your usage of the bag by 1. So usually you can use the bag 5 times with the 4th of July perk, and with the first column where you have the armory, 20% chance each usage 5 times. So basically how it works is with 5 usage, you have 100% chance of duping it. So that's kind of how it works there. And but with 3-in-1, because you reduce the usage by 1, so now the duping percentage is not 100% anymore. But in general, you can still you're kind of still able to dupe it as you play. But yeah, the teammates who are picking the supply bag must not have full equipment charge for them to dupe it. So that's kind of how it works. So you plant a bag, someone picks it up, the whole team heals by 10%, and then hopefully the teammate who picks up the explosive bag or uses the explosive bags can dupe a charge, and then you can put down another bag, heal the team again by 10%, and so on and so forth. And because we are not duping 100% anymore, we are using cheer up. So say if you revive a teammate, both of you get an equipment charge back. So this basically gives us more bags to place down and to heal the team afterwards. We're also going for scavenger, where you kill a special zombie, restores 1 equipment charge, so that we are not reliant on supply bags. Because say there's a medic class, they might need the stims a little bit more, or if your teammates, they are all using supply bags and there's no more for you, so at least you can regenerate your own equipment bags. And with explosive ammo, you are actually in a pretty good spot to kill specials quickly, so that's why I generally prefer scavenger. Pickpocket works as well, it's kind of up to you. So but yeah, personally I like scavenger a little bit more. As for the rest of the column, supply bag restores more primary ammo, so this is pretty good on maps with big, for example Phoenix maps are pretty lengthy, so having more ammo restoration can be quite handy. As for the other columns, we have the more damage for the auto turrets. You can also use reviving ammo. Reviving someone grants explosive ammo. Is kind of interchangeable. For this column, you're using more ammo for team, which is always useful, especially on extinction where there's ammo reduction for everyone. And this column here, we're using power shot. This is basically your DPS build, so to speak. So you get 2 more pen on semi-auto rifles. And this, okay, the thing with explosive ammo is that it also it removes your weapon penetration. So with this, at least you get explosive ammo and a +2 pen afterwards. But of course, if you're not using explosive ammo or on semi-auto rifles, say the spotting carbine with a base of 2 pen, this will give you an additional 2 pen, so you now have 4 pen, and each shot can kill 5 zombies or hit 5 zombies. So that's where your kind of like your DPS as a fixer comes into play. Your explosive ammo helps to deal with specials, and power shot helps you to deal with swarms. The other alternative, as mentioned, you can see the difference here, is the unlimited duping. So instead of using 3 in 1, we can use any of the other perks here. So now your bags have 5 users, and it's 100% duping chance. I generally prefer my round 2, so any heavy that your teammates or you pick up has more ammo, so your RPG has now 2 shots, multi-shot rocket launcher have 5 shots, etc. So those can be pretty useful. If you're playing Horde Bandolier, otherwise improved payload is not too bad for new players, especially easy to use to take down specials quickly. But you do have explosive ammo to begin with, so you already have a pretty good way to deal with specials. And then I'm going for paramedic, just to be able to revive teammates quickly, because you don't really need cheer up anymore, because your bags have increased chances of duping, so you can go for a different option in this column. And then last but not least is the gas fixer. Yeah, night owl or side effects is kind of up to you. Again, you use cheer up here, so essentially if someone goes down, you can throw a gas at them and then revive them while you're masked. So both of you are masked when you revive them, and then you get back another gas back. So it's kind of like a free revive, so to speak. So this is actually quite useful. And for the others, yeah, anyone entering the gas mask at 10% more ammo. And between Shadow Walker and Darkness Falls, you get more total masking time with Darkness Falls because of the increased duration by 7 seconds, whereas Shadow Walker is only 2 seconds. So you get a lot more masking time with Darkness Falls. That's why we are going for that instead. Yeah, so that's Fixer overall. And then we'll now look at the Prestige perks. Knock 2, 10% chance of using Breaching Charge. Again, the chance perk, it's okay. Revive speed increased by 25%. This is pretty good. If you're the last man, if you're reviving someone, NPCs or teammates, being able to revive them faster is always handy. My round 3, more ammo for teammates, good to have. Bounty Hunter, 10% more damage to specials. This is okay. Yeah, so I would say pretty average perks so far. Not a very big impact. 10% more damage to specials is okay, but you already have explosive ammo, so your special dealing capabilities is already pretty good to begin with. So I wouldn't say like this is like game breaking or whatnot. Go Get 'Em, reviving a teammate restores 10% around. This is okay-ish. More auto turret ammunition. This is, again, yeah. I guess this is good for Horde, but yeah. Kevlar, after reviving an ally, both of you take 25% less damage for 5 seconds. I think I've tried this before. Even on Extreme, if you revive someone on PC, they'll still go down in 1 hit. So I mean, I guess you can take a little bit less damage against, say, gas bags, gas, etc. or bomber if you're at a further distance away, so you don't get like the full impact of the blast. It can be handy in certain situations, yeah. And then Sleight of Hand being the last perk, which I find to be one of the more useful ones. But yeah, I wouldn't say that Fixer have like very good prestige perks. Overall, yeah, you can probably stop at like P3 if you want. I mean, yeah, like I said, a lot of the perks are good to have but not necessary. But I think personally, I don't think Fixer's Prestige perk are as good as Medic, for example, or even Hellraiser and Gunslinger overall, because the numbers are pretty low, and doesn't seem to be as useful as I would think. I mean, Sleight of Hand is good, but unfortunately it's at P9, so can be quite a chore to get. But yeah, so that's for Fixer class, and we'll move on to Slasher. We have rooted perks, so we don't get pinned down by boosted zombies. We can take aggro more easily, even with the boosted spawns, and you know how they can appear out of thin air. This can be quite handy. Zeus, so we can revive teammates with our stun gun, which is always good to have. And Nimble, so you take less damage while you're performing melee attacks. This is basically your survivability perk, allows you to tank more hits, so this is very important as a slasher. We're going for more Wheatgrass for more health, because this also increases the temp health that we get from, say, our Tomahawk, or if you're using Vigor. So yeah, so essentially, you know, increases your survivability as well. On Extinction, okay, so this is a Tomahawk build. On Extinction, I will usually go for Cloak and Dagger, because you get infected well, with zombie hits as well. So you do, because you're in melee range quite a lot, so you do find yourself get infected a little bit more often. So having this to be able to disinfect safely is quite useful. On Extreme, I'll go Vigor, just for the temp health to absorb more hits and take aggro more effectively. And yeah, starting with a chainsaw is very important. You need chainsaw to deal with zombies and specials quickly. And if you're using Tomahawk, I tend to go with Bloodlust. This killing a special zombie with melee increases your firearm damage. I think this is quite a good counter to, say, Juggernauts. So if you can time your melee kill on a special zombie right, you can use the firearm damage boost to deal with Juggernauts quickly, because Juggernauts is kind of like your slasher counter, because they cannot be stunned and they don't really have a weakness to melee hits. So that's kind of like your way around it. On one zone, you refill equipment charge every 60 seconds, so this still allows you to pick up bags, so this is actually quite useful compared to Pickpocket, which is 60 seconds cooldown as well, but you do need to kill 15 zombies, so there's no point to go for Pickpocket if you're using on one zone. The other alternative is Lone Shark, but depends on how fast your teammates kill specials, because you may not be say if they have a MGL special killer build and they're picking off specials left and right, you may not be getting much special kills, so that's why on one's own can be quite useful. And for the last column, kind of up to you, situational. I'm just going with Adrenaline just in case if I get low. I'll be focusing a lot more on using my primary, and the reload speed increase would definitely help a lot as well. So this is with the medium Tomahawk. The other one is with the medium baton. Basically, I'm changing this roll to shock therapy, so you will not become fatigued when you melee them, when the zombies are electrified by the stun gun or the baton or the electric grids. So basically, you can melee a lot more with this. And because you don't have any temp health, because you are not using Tomahawk anymore, so we are going with the Vigor here to give us temp health to soak up damage, because they are always in melee range, so there's you have a pretty high chance to get hit, so having Vigor is pretty handy. Okay, so now for the Prestige perks. Stun gun effect duration 50%, that's good. Increased range, good, 15%, that's fine. One more melee strike is pretty handy. Take 10% less damage, we'll take that. This is pretty decent as well. Killing a stun special restores 5%. This is also not too bad, because you do tend to be using stun guns quite often against specials, even just to keep teammates from getting swarmed by them, you know. And then if you kill them, you get some ammo back. So this can be pretty handy. Electric grids kill 5% more zombies. I wouldn't think this is very impactful. Yeah, this is not as useful, in my opinion. The next one, SMG reload speed, not that impactful as well. It's only 5%, and you can do reload cancel. So yeah, and then the last one, health increased by 5%. Again, yeah, minimal increment. because we're already using wheatgrass anyway. I mean, this is fine. I would go for it if it's in, say, if it's in this slot here. But yeah, it's in P9 again, so again, if you have to choose, I would say the first 4, even the first 5 is good enough. This P7, P8, and P9 perks are, yeah, I would say you can just stop at P6, potentially, even P4 if you don't really bother with, because P5 you don't unlock any perks, it gives you a border, so yeah, so I would say the first 4 prestige perks are decent enough. Okay, so that's for Slasher. And now we'll move on to Exterminator. There's 2 different builds. There's the Claymore build where you have the minefield, you get more Claymores, you get 1 more Claymores. Claymores go on fire. And the last one where Claymores explode twice. So essentially, this increases your Q cap. This gives you 1 more Claymore charge, and then this with 1 more Claymore charge and plus Pocket Factory, you have a total of 4 Claymores, and you are getting 1 back every 37 seconds. So that's pretty quick. You can cover a lot of points, 1 points, even pyramids with this setup. In terms of survivability, we have our temp health here. You can also go for masking if you like, but again, you'll be sending zombies to other teammates, so be careful. We are going for temp health here to soak up damage, and we are also going for rooted perks to counter boosters, which can be pretty annoying, and they can spawn out of thin air. And in terms of our damage output, we have our multi-shot rocket launcher, which kills 50% more zombies here. And also our tier 2 shotgun, which is really good swarm clearer, and tier 2 shotgun is, as again, the best tier 2 right now, and rivals, it's even better than some of the tier 3s, to be fair. And so we have the combat shotgun and third hand, which instantly reloads your shotgun when you get 15 kills. So this is your primary, your damage output with your primary weapon, third hand plus tier 2 shotgun. You have a damage output with your heavy multi-shot rocket launcher, and then with the claymores as well. So you have basically 3 sources of DPS as an exterminator: claymores, a multi-shot rocket launcher, and your primary shotgun. Okay, and but the claymores does require you to know where to plant them, spots to plant them effectively. You need to know where the spawn points are. You don't want to be planting them at points where teammates are running by and then they get caught in the explosion and they go down. So for new players, I recommend the Molotov build. The main difference will be the first and the last column. We'll take the fire damage from the Molotov as well as the increased splash damage. So what this does is allows you to throw the Molotov on a special like a Bull or Juggernaut, and then they can go down fairly quickly. Because they are kind of like the main nuisance as an exterminator, because you don't really have a quick and easy way to deal with them. So your Molotov with the increased damage makes it more effective in dealing with these the specials there. We are using Combat Engineer in the middle one to dupe defenses. This is not bad, having extra grid turrets or defense in general can be useful. But provided you do get the chance to grab them, sometimes teammates might grab your defenses, and you get less chance to dupe it. A good alternative will be burnout. During swarms, your fire damage increase further by 25%, which means specials actually dies a lot faster. Essentially your Molotov should be focused on flanks, on specials, not so much into pyramids or onto the incoming swarm, because they have a pretty limited Q cap. A pretty low Q cap, and you have less usage of it as well. You don't have to use Pocket Factory. You can go for pickpockets with a lower cooldown of 60 seconds. If you use Pocket Factory, it will be 75 seconds. So with pickpocket, you can still pick up bags as well. So that's kind of the difference. But yeah, I do find Pocket Factory kind of convenient sometimes. When you're traveling from A to B, it will still kind of give you back Molotovs for you to use. So on to the Prestige perks. So Wheatgrass 2, health increased by 5%. This is actually quite useful because we are not using Wheatgrass. On PC, you usually take 3 hits to go down, but because of Wheatgrass 2, now you can take 4 hits before you go down, 4 zombie hits on extreme. So this essentially gives you an additional hit on PC. So yes, this is definitely a must-have perk if you are not using the request perk. Shotgun reload 10% faster, that's good, because third hand doesn't always proc because there's a bit of a cooldown that's not stated here, so sometimes you might not be able to proc it, so you do have to reload a couple of rounds before you get the kills to proc third hand. So having the extra reload speed is useful. Molotov and Claymores kill 10% more, this is fine, decent perk. 10% more ammo for primary, this is good. As an exterminator, you don't have any ammo efficiency perks, so you do want to be able to carry more ammo just in case, so you don't run out. Fire resistance, they are not really necessary, just don't run into them really. About wire kill 10% more, again, not that impactful, so these two perks are kind of meh. Throw distance of Molotov is good, 25% more, so you don't have to put yourself in danger, you know, trying to throw a Molotov. You can throw them from a safer distance away, that's fine. Yeah, but not so much if you are using the Claymore builds because you're not throwing anything. And then the last perk, defense kits you install can deal 10% more and 10% more ammo capacity. So this is decent actually. Say mortars, you have one more shot which can kill I think 40 to 60 zombies, somewhere in that range. So, you know, it can be pretty handy. So I would say this is actually decent, especially if you play horde mode, it's even better there. So yeah, so I would say Exterminator's Prestige perks are not bad. If you're using the Molotov build, the last, you know, this P8 perk is good. P9 perk is not bad as well. Again, first 4 and then P8 and P9. I would say the P6 and P7 are not really that impactful, but I guess P7 in a way, if you're using the duping perk, you know, you can dupe more barbed wires kills more. I guess, you know, overall there's still some they still kind of work well, I suppose. So I guess the only one that's not really useful would be this P6 fire resistance. Yeah, so Exterminator's Prestige perks are not too bad as well, overall. Okay, so now next up we have the Dronemaster Class. So there's a couple of different setups. The silent pistol setup. So the first one just gives you more charges. So we have the silent stinger. I tend to go for the improved payload now because just so you can deal with juggernauts quickly. Juggernauts and bulls quickly, especially on extinction, they can be a nuisance. I like weak grass, you don't really need the others. Saving grace or clear, it's kind of up to you. The problem with clear is if you share a drone with someone, the two of you will share this 180 seconds cooldown. So basically, if the teammates proc it, you won't be able to proc it until 3 minutes later. So that's pretty annoying. So that's why I'm using Saving Grace right now, because it's individual. Yeah. And then, you know, sharing is caring is definitely a must. So you can share a drone with someone else. On extinction, I will use Splasher. So it says it disinfects from infected spit, but it also disinfects you if you get hit by a zombie's infection on extinction difficulty. So this is a must-have if you're playing on extinction. If you're on extreme, I'll go for Eye in the Sky, just to highlight specials, because when things get messy, sometimes specials can kind of blend in into the crowd, and then if they are not making any sound cues, you may not be able to spot them easily. The other two have their users as well, but I would say only on specific maps. Yeah, this is just kind of like a brief overview. I'm not getting too much into too deep into the details here. You can of course use some of the other perks as well. They all have their users. And then we are going for special price because we are, we have payload for specials. You can also go for 15 kills if you like, but personally I prefer special price. And of course the last one is no friendly fire. So yeah, this is kind of how I set up my Dronemaster. If you want stun drone, then of course use lightning storm to increase your stun gun's fire rate. And then for the last one I have will be the firecracker, which is a loud pistol. I tend to match it with take a load off, so you get a few more charges, and then I also go with parting gift because loud drone runs out pretty quickly, so it works well with the temp health build here. Yeah, so these are the different setups that you have. In terms of the prestige perks, you get 10% ammo when the drone is depleted. That's fine. Movement speed penalty reduced. This is good. You know, when there's lots of zombies around, you can just kind of run through them with less penalty. Because if you find yourself, if you're in a bunch of zombies, you can get slowed down by them. Spotter firearm damage increased by 15%. This is great. Take 10% less damage. On extreme, doesn't seem that impactful, but yeah, I mean, yeah, well, we'll take it. Because you know, on extreme you go down in 3 hits, so you know 10% more probably wouldn't save you much. But say gas packs, gas or whatnot, it can always help a little bit. Quadcopter charge increased by 5%. Not a whole lot, but it's fine, I suppose. This is good. Quadcopter reloads turrets within 10 meters. This is really useful. While you're fighting a swarm, you may not be in a good position to reload turrets, which is say on ground level and you're on the platform. So being able to reload them automatically is quite useful. So this is a really good perk. Speed of setting up defenses increased by 50%. Another really good perk. You set up faster. You use defense kits faster as well. When you use the mortar or machine gun, you can mount them and dismount faster. You can also close and open gates quicker as well. Those metallic fences. So yeah, there's a couple of users for this. So this is a really good perk as well. He can do it all. Receive 2 seconds of invulnerability when the drone is depleted. So this sounds good. But it kind of clashes with your out with a bang. So when your drone is depleted, it stuns zombies in the radius. So usually when your drone depletes, the zombies around you are stunned, so you're not exactly taking damage. But I guess you only stun 10 zombies, so if there's more than that, you do get the invulnerability. So in a way, I guess this is also decent. Yeah, so I guess the only not so impactful perks will be this one, P4 and the P6 perks. But otherwise, I think overall, Dronemasters have really good, 7, 8, 9 prestige perks. Yeah, I would say Dronemaster probably have the best prestige perks. Dronemaster and Medic class has the best prestige perks, then probably followed by Exterminator, and then maybe Gunslinger, Hellraiser, Fixer, and Slasher. They're kind of all about the same-ish. And then the last one will be Vanguard. So which I will go through the perks first, and then we'll talk about that afterwards. So for Vanguard class, this is the way I like to build or play around on Extinction difficulty. I like quick hands, so I can reload my primary with shield block. This is essentially gives me a bit of increases my DPS through my primary weapon. If I use up my primary ammo, I can try to get a shield block. And when you do a shield block, you also proc the You Make Me Mad. So basically, you'll do 50% more firearm damage for 5 seconds after you shield block with your reloaded primary weapon. So it kind of works hand in hand, if you see what I mean. You can also, if you prefer melee based gameplay, you can also use Adrenaline Rush, which gives you melee stamina instead. So using a heavy melee, a heavy sword or a heavy hammer, and then proccing You Make Me Mad, you can one-shot zombies on PC. And then for the rest of the perks, all around defense, so you're getting covered in all directions. Either use recuperation or pickpocket. Pickpocket has a pretty low cooldown of only 30 seconds, so if you do find yourself getting, it should be fairly easy to get 15 kills as Vanguard class. Yeah, kind of between these two, kind of up to you. This recuperates along with time, so you don't really have to worry about it too much as well, or getting kills. So yeah, with the low cooldown, I would say pickpocket is a little bit better, because of the very low 30 seconds cooldown. And then in the fourth column, so when playing with a squad, I like Stronger Together. I know a lot of people tend to prefer Guard Dog with just a chainsaw, and that's perfectly fine. But as a team, the thing is, because on PC, You see that a lot of classes, say Gunslinger, Hellraiser, Exterminator, your DPS classes, they don't tend to use Wheatgrass because they are using another perk in the column. So which means on PC, you'll go down in 3 hits as Gunslinger or Hellraiser. Exterminator has the Wheatgrass too, so that's fine. But say on Gunslinger, for example, you're not using Wheatgrass, so you go down in 3 hits as on extreme difficulty. So Stronger Together will actually increase this to 4 hits. So this essentially 1 more hit for everyone on the team who's not using Wheatgrass and is playing on PC. So it's actually a lot more impactful than you think. Even yourself, instead of 3 hits, you'll go down in 4 hits. So this is a really, really good team perk, in my opinion. So yeah, I would forgo the chainsaw for this, just so my teammates can survive a little bit longer. And so yeah, that's the main point of this, to be honest. Special coating, so if you charge through someone, they get 10 health, why not? Though you don't really shield charge a lot, so but yeah, it's just a perk that's good to have just in case you do shield charge. And then in the next column, we are using Shake It Off. You shield charge, you can remove negative effects, mainly infection. So if you get infected on extinction or by an infector, or extinction with zombie hits, you can use your shield charge to disinfect yourself. So the main issue with Vanguard on extinction difficulty is that you know how armor plated gives you protection or invulnerability for 3 seconds when you interact with something. The problem is, even though you when you take zombie slaps during this time, you won't take any damage, but you can still get infected. So basically, say if I'm reviving someone and during which I get hit and I get infected, I cannot disinfect safely because this perk has already gone on cooldown. So now I will have to disinfect either with a melee kill or with a shield charge, or I have to wait for this to go off cooldown before I disinfect again. And the timing will be pretty close because I think you get infected for like 12 seconds before before you get turned. So that's why I Shake It Off as a kind of like a backup. But if you're playing on extreme, I would say you can go for bad order to just so you can drop primary weapon for the team, increase overall team DPS. And then we have inspirational. If the whole team goes down, usually you'll be the last man standing if things gets messy, just because of how strong your shield is. So at least with this, you can still respawn someone into game. Works really well on extinction as well, because extinction there's no respawn until checkpoints. So say if you need someone to help you with a particular area, you'll be able to respawn someone in as well with this. Center of Attention, one of the stronger perks on Vanguard, where if you bring up your shield, you can stop. You can get aggro of the zombies around you. This includes, making bulls stop charging, stop pinning someone, stop an infector from spitting, etc. Get the bomber that's gonna explode a teammate onto you. So yeah, so this is a really, really strong perk for Vanguard. For solo run, I will go for the chainsaw just so I can have more clearing speed. I'll do rolling refuel. If you shoot charge across an ammo crate, you can refill ammo, so that's pretty useful. Pickpocket for sure, and sometimes I do tend to use breakthrough. So when you're chainsawing the gate, there's a chance you can still get slapped because zombies will still be aggroed on you when you're chainsawing. So I do like to have a bit of temp health. So basically what I do is, if I'm from a distance away, I'll shoot charge into a pyramid. This uses up a single shield energy, but with pickpocket, I'll be able to restore that because when you shield charge and then afterwards you do a few chainsaw or melee, you'll be able to get you'll be able to hit the 15 kills streak to get your shield back immediately. You get temp health, and then that will protect you while you're chainsawing the gate. So that's kind of one way of as to how it works. But yeah, you can play around with some of the perks really. As to the prestige perks, increase the angle as your attacks be blocked by the shield. Again, you have all-round defense, so this is not that impactful in general. Yeah. So all-round defense kind of protects you from all sides. Unless you don't use this, then I can see where this kind of comes into handy. All zombie damage is reduced by 25% when using shield block. Again, the thing with Vanguard is you're not really you don't want to be holding your shield for too long. You kind of want to bring it up melee a little bit. So you won't really be taking a lot of damage while using your shield block. So especially if you have all-round defense as well. So yeah, I wouldn't say that this is as impactful as well. Carry ammo for secondary weapons increased by 15%. Not really that useful as well, because you're starting with a pistol. You don't start with any other secondary. You can find secondary weapons, like flare gun, thumper, but those will be RNG. So and then shield charge allows you to run for an additional second. I guess you can go a little bit further, but again, you don't shield charge a lot, so I guess it helps if you're trying to revive someone with on your feet and they're quite far away. But yeah. And then moving on to the next row, we have Secret Stash. Carry ammo for primary weapons increased by 5%. Okay-ish, but 5% is pretty low. While using mortar stationary machine gun, take 15% less damage. Yeah, you gotta be careful when you're using those to begin with. You need to make sure someone's kind of covering you, or you're in a safe spot before you use those things. If not on extreme, by the time you get hit and you dismount it, you probably go down anyway. So yeah, not a perk that will be very impactful. And then you have strong genes, which stands 2 seconds longer before turning after being infected. This is quite useful on extinction. If you recall earlier what I said about armor plated, when you can get infected while invulnerable, and then this gives you 2 seconds longer, so it gives you more time to actually wait out the cooldown and then to disinfect manually again. So this is quite useful on extinction difficulty, I'd say. And then for the last perk, killing 15 zombies with a shield charge, which lost 5% round. This is, I'll say, useless. So if you look at Fright Train, a shield charge only kills 14 zombies base. So you actually have to use this perk here, the Fright Train here, to allow you to proc Harvester, which is kind of lame because yeah, and again, you don't shield charge a lot, so I wouldn't say that this is very useful. So overall, I think the only one of the better perks will be strong genes. I guess linebacker is not bad, but yeah, I think overall Vanguard's probably has the worst prestige perks, I'd say. Compared to the other classes. So yeah, so that's it. Hopefully it gives you an idea of whether or not the prestige perks are worth it. Like I said, this is my opinion. You may think differently, and that's fine. Again, the prestige perks are good to have, but not necessary. If you have the time to grind for them, go for it. Otherwise, like I said, a level 30 class at prestige 0 will be able to contribute more than a prestige 9 but level 1 class. So yeah. So hopefully this helps. Thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys have a good one.